Welcome back, Vol fans. Thanks for joining us. This thing's kind of like a movie out of Hollywood, Bob, and it would be the Fast and Furious when we're talking about the portal, because it certainly has been. Let's start off right off the bat with a commitment that we got about an hour ago, and then we'll back up a little bit and talk about the overall portal at the moment.
Right, that's right, Tim. We big commitment from Kay and Lee, two-time starter, 2-year starter for Auburn. A pretty big get, Tim, because this one was a guy who was on Ohio State's number one on their board, and Ole Miss was also in this one too.
Yeah, my understanding was he was the top corner on the Ohio State board.
Right. I mean, that's the kind of guys you need to get the big board battles. I mean, sure you're going to need to find some guys who are hidden gems, but you're going to have some big board battles, and this
got to win your fair share, and it was a win.
Yeah, that helped take the sting out of Jacquez White going to Virginia Tech today, which apparently they just offered more money, and that's a big part of it anymore.
Yeah, and I will say this. I mean, we obviously decided not to go the Virginia Tech or the money route to beat Virginia Tech. That to me, that's probably telling me that Lee was our higher up on our board.
Yeah, or at least equal to him.
Yeah. To give it where it be.
Yeah,
but that's a probable starter to replace possibly replace Ricky Gibson.
Yeah, a big get. I mean, it was
a position of need,
a needed get, Tim, because there's been a lot of negative news here lately. But going on to some more guys that was on campus today. Dylan Sukowski, probably an opt for the guard, who is from Oregon State, 6'4", 341, big boy. Got 3 years to play.
Yeah, and you kind of like that part of it. I mean, I kind of like sometimes you want an older guy, but this isn't someone necessarily coming straight in to start. There was a lot of discussion or a thought that possibly the UT was going to be done at the offensive line after they took the commitment of Ori Williams from LSU, which was a big get. But obviously they wasn't done. They want another lineman body. This guy could probably he might place a little right tackle for you, or at least compete for it.
Yeah, big get, Tim. I mean, if we could get that, because I mean, guy's 6'4", 341. That's a bigger boy.
What's a line of scrimmage league?
Yeah. Another guy at the cornerback position, Tim, we've targeted. He's actually on campus right now. If he made it in, was Kane Thompson, speedster cornerback from Slippery Rock. I think this guy was actually like not just a track star, but looks like sometimes you get guys who are track stars that play football, and hopefully you get a football player that runs track. Yeah,
and I do believe that's what we got, because he had production I mean, obviously it's a lower level of football,
right?
But there's a lot of lower level guys that go to NFL all the time.
Yeah,
and this kid right here, he has that one thing you can't teach, and that's speed. And he's got plenty of it, and he's got production to go along with it. We still need another corner in this class. I think he would probably be a big get.
Yeah. Probably the most controversial guy, Tim, when you start asking ball fans about what they think about guys, it's another guy that's on campus right now.
Definitely the most talked about position, whether or not it's
and would garner the most money, if he was to sign, is Sam Levitt, quarterback from Arizona State.
It's on campus tonight, right?
Yeah. I think he is on threes. I think top quarterback prospect. There's been some different people have different rankings on that.
Of course.
Personally, I only watched him play one game last year, just one, and that was against Mississippi State, and he was horrible.
Well, that's true. I saw that game too, and it was yeah, boy.
It was bad. Probably I can't think of a worse performance from a UT quarterback in the last 10 years, but it was bad. But
yeah,
anyway,
we probably have them.
Maybe.
We've had a few to choose from. I put it like that.
Yeah.
I will say this about Levitt. I mean, you look at his overall body of work out there. Obviously, there's a lot of good, or he wouldn't be ranked as high as he is. And the man can move. He can run.
Oh, yeah.
So he adds that dimension that we've not had. That said, though, I want somebody consistent throwing the ball too, though.
Well, I mean, as one person said earlier today, I think it was, he said that the Legion of the Miserables want to bring up Mississippi State, and then the Sunshine Pumpers want to bring up his game against Texas Tech, where he had a much better game. So hopefully he's becomes more, consistent, and I mean, he's not, I said consistent. Let's just hope we don't never see, if he comes here, the Mississippi State version of him.
Yeah. I will say this, if he does come here, and it's very possible because, we had some news earlier today on Ty Simpson, who was rumored possibly to be headed this way if he did not go to the NFL draft. And I believe that was to be the case, but he did enter the NFL draft today.
Right.
So now we're left with, at the moment, Sam Levitt.
He's number one on the board up here.
And, with the potential of Joey Aguilar still court case wrapping up in the next few days. Going back to Levitt for a moment, though, he would, if he was to choose us, miss spring practice, I believe, still recuperating from a surgery on his foot.
Yeah.
But now, obviously he can get the quote mental reps.
Yeah.
And understanding that.
Joey Aguilar proved that you don't have to have that spring practice.
No, but
if you're
it's nice.
A seasoned vet like Levitt and like Aguilar, yes, it would be nice to build chemistry, if nothing else, with your wide receivers. But yeah, the next name on the board, Tim, that I think was here today was Francis Brewu. Hope I'm saying that name right, from Pitt.
Francis, I think you got that right.
I probably got that right. Yeah. Pitt, he defensive tackle, 6'1", 280. He's got 2 years left to play, and that's the kind of guys we like to get. Heupel has been pretty big on getting guys who has multiple years left, and I don't disagree with that.
Well, 2 years ago, I think it was, whenever we got Miles Kitselman, every person we had in the transfer portal that year had 2+ years to play, except for Kitselman, which of course wound up getting 2 years because of a court ruling.
Right.
So obviously they do like having multiple years on their guys.
Yeah. This guy's a little small on the small side, but I will say, with Noel's system, he might even play
out on the edge.
Yeah, like on the strong side. Yeah, he might play that position here.
And it's possible. Either way, I believe, whoever picks up Francis B here, getting a pretty good quality player.
Yeah.
I don't have a real feel on him yet, of course, obviously. Right. We might hear something shortly, though.
Yeah. Another player, Tim, that not here yet, but appear that coming here is Cooper Ranvier, kicker out of Louisville. Got 3 years left, Tim, and I feel like a pretty good chance of this guy because his mentor or his kicking coach is James Wilhoit. Is that correct?
James, yes.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, he's a good, consistent kicker, though. 13, I believe, was out of 14 on those 49 and in.
Yes. Yeah. And I think he was 2 of 5 from outside of 50. But honestly, man, for me, Tim, I'd love to get a guy who can kick the 55, 60 yarders. Those are rare. But if you can get me a guy in here that can hit has a certain length kick that we know it's 3 points, it makes that decision to go for it or not a lot easier on the coach when he knows, okay, this is a 55-yarder.
It's automatic.
We're throwing
we're
putting offense out there at 55 yards. If it's 48, we're kicking it, and we're going to feel good about it.
Yeah, and you know what? He's still a young guy.
Yeah,
and he will get stronger.
Yeah, right.
His distance will improve.
Another big name, Tim, guy who's definitely very high on my wish list is a linebacker, Maury Campbell. Probably Penn State's top linebacker last year. He's a guy who fits the need, as we've said on many of these Penn State guys who's visited us. They know the system. They will make that learning curve much quicker.
It is.
And he's a really good linebacker.
He is very good. Coming in Friday, if nothing changes.
Right.
And I didn't consider linebacker a gigantic need for this team, even though the linebacker play I don't think was very good.
Right.
But we seem to have a large number of really talented young guys that you hope develop for us. But if you can get a stud at any spot, you get a stud, and this guy is a stud.
Well, I say something else too, Tim. That's something I don't know if a lot of people brought up or not, but Noel's system's quite a bit different from the typical system. He likes players in different spots, different sizes, whatever. I fully anticipate quite a few of our players moving, switching positions. So,
or at least having different responsibilities at those spots.
Somebody like a Christian Gass, who's been a linebacker, he could very possibly go to a Leo type position on this particular team. So that may be a reason why you keep hearing the linebackers brought up. Maybe they plan on moving them, one or two of them, to defensive line. And we definitely need some Leos, considering pretty much all of them are gone.
Yeah. When they fired Chop and showed them the door, they forgot to shut the door behind them.
Yeah,
and pretty much the entire room emptied out. I don't know if the last person turned the light off as they left, but it would have been nice on the electric bill if they had.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Tim, and we haven't discussed this really, but we've had a lot of money go in the portal. So hopefully that money gets spent on some people like Campbell and some of the next players we're going to mention here, who are also big boy battles. As you say, Tim, Quay Rusal, 6'2", 235, transfer out of Alabama, and his teammate, which was also his high school teammate, James Smith, 6'3", 295. Two guys who went to high school together, went to college together.
Will they land at the next one together? I don't know.
Hopefully it is if it's here.
But they are visiting together here. I believe that's a Sunday visit, I believe, Bob. Is that?
I don't remember.
Or a Friday visit. I can't recall now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But they are coming in together. If nothing, like I said, you can always say if nothing changes at this point, because everything's changing at this point right now. But both those guys are two good quality guys. I know Rusal was described by his former defense coordinator as the freakiest of freaks.
That's what you want.
Yeah,
he played a good amount, but he was not a full-time starter. Now James Smith was a much more of a contributor there. I think he was a full-time guy. Smith
is dang good, and Rusal's production hasn't caught up with his athletic ability yet.
Rusal,
yeah,
that's what I hear. And I tell you what, if you're going to take a gamble on somebody who's a guy that wasn't maybe a full-time starter, that's the kind of guy you want to take a gamble on. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, look at
James Pierce.
James Pierce, yeah. He went from pretty much no production to All-American in a single year.
Well, Darrell Taylor was a lot the same way. He went from being a pretty good player to really good.
Well, he did, yeah. It's a progression.
Excuse me. But big time guys who are look to be Ohio State battle for both of these guys. Next guy, Tim, DeJuan Lane, who played the 3 safety for Penn State.
Seems to be a recurring thing, Bob.
Yeah.
The Penn State.
Right.
Which, like you mentioned a moment ago, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get multiple Penn State defenders to help ease that transition, to speed that transition up. And, did Penn State, would they want to have been a better defense than what they were last year? I'm sure they would have. They would somewhat.
Yeah.
But same token, their defense was a lot better than ours.
They was, Tim. And, I've heard some people say, well, they wasn't a fantastic defense. Why did you get going after so many people? But
better than what we have.
Better than what we have. And it's their second year in the system, which is predominantly has gotten a lot better under Knowles. So you figure these guys play much better. And this third safety position, Tim, it's not like the third string safety. He plays a lot of three safeties.
Right. He starts 3 safeties, which he calls, I think we could call our nickel or our guy who was basically a slot corner, slot safety, whatever you want to call. he just got some slightly different responsibilities for these guys.
And this guy, Tim, I would think, based off what I can tell, I'm no expert on this stuff, but he looks like he might be the guy with the most responsibilities too. So you would want a guy with a lot of knowledge of the system there in that spot, maybe the most crucial spot.
Bring you a high IQ guy over.
Exactly.
Bring everybody up to speed quicker.
Exactly. Somebody who can help in practice, Going on to the next player, Tim, a guy who's already been on campus, Zylan Perry, running back, 5'11", 214 from Louisiana Tech. He appears to be our number one on our board. Not really sure where that one is right now. That's been kind of quiet.
I believe his visits may be over this time. If that's correct, I don't see that lasting a lot longer. We'll either make an offer that he can't refuse, or we'll pivot somewhere else.
Right.
I'm sure we have a budget like for that for everything, and running backs don't get that much of the budget.
Well, we had a couple of guys go off the board with Cook, and a couple more that we kind of looked at. So that one may be closing in on that one. Another guy is Tim, who former Penn State player, Chaz Coleman, was already in here. Edge, maybe considered the top edge guy out there out there right
some
now.
People board, yeah.
6'4", 240. He was a freshman this year. That one is definitely a big boy battle, and there's been Ohio State rumors. There's been LSU's probably the rumor as of the
most current.
Yeah.
The good thing is, I believe he's made it off of most of the campuses, unless he has scheduled some more visits.
Right.
And we do have the connection. We'll see if it pays off. I know after we've lost so many Leos, they can't be skimping on money.
Yeah, well, that's the truth. Another player, Tim.
Where's he from?
Penn State.
Hey.
But a guy, honestly, if you was to say, hey, pick a guy who you want for this team, he's got to be right there toward the top of my list. It's Xavier Gillum, because it's a need, man. We need some defensive tackles, and this guy's 6'2", 301, who was as a freshman was a PFFF All-American, and this one's. I'm not exactly sure who the main competition is, but I think it's Notre Dame. But I know he just come off a visit from there.
Well, we've had some momentum with him. The problem is momentum in regular high school recruiting and momentum in portals, two different things. You have momentum 3 months in high school. If it goes much past 36 hours, the momentum changes in the transfer portal.
Boy, you ain't kidding there.
So we shall see on that. That would be a big get. He's got some mass to him, over 300 pounds already.
Right.
And we need somebody who don't get blowed out of the middle this year.
I like, a lot of times size, big thing with some of these positions. But honestly, for defense tackle, I'm perfectly fine with a guy who is 6'1", 6'2", this 300 pounds. I mean, they're going to be hard to get up underneath on these 3rd and 1s in the goal line position. I like having a guy like that.
Low man wins, and they've got a little advantage already.
I know about the low man thing, Tim, and
Did you win much though?
No, I don't have the.
Okay, in theory,
and
low man.
Yeah, I definitely can get lower than the average guy as far as that goes. But let's go on here, Tim, before you say something smart. Well, Tim, okay, that's where we're at right now. Hopefully we get some really good news in the very near future, because it seems like everybody's like really been kind of down, I guess, a little bit. If you was to take the temperature of the fan base of the people that follow this.
Yeah. The only good thing is, Bob, unless you're in Lubbock, Texas, and who wants to be there, you're probably upset with your team's portal at the moment.
I mean, you got a point there, man. When I was looking at Texas Tech, man, when I was looking at who they brought in, it's like, okay, they got the top defense tackle. They got who was my number one edge guy, Trick out of Miami, Ohio. They got some people's number one quarterback and Sorsby. And then you start looking at
bringing in number one safety, I think, right now.
Number one safety. And I just seen we're probably the number one wide receiver, Cam Coleman, scheduled a visit there. So they're planning on buying them a national championship if, or they're going to spend the money like they are anyway.
Well, it helps when you have a former player that's worth $15 billion. And he has pretty much said Texas Tech is going to be the dog. I think he paid $1 million for a softball pitcher, Bob.
Wow.
Let me just wrap your head around that for a moment.
You don't want to get in a money battle against this guy.
He don't care.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Tim, let's talk a little bit about the Tennessee basketball team.
Oh, nice big win over Texas.
It was a must win game right there, man. Must win.
Well, I don't know how must win an early January game is, Bob, but
well, it felt like it was a must from
It feels like we really need to try to keep most of our home games in the W column.
Man. You got to, and you got to steal some away games, but you got to get. That was one that you really can't lose because you're going to need to steal some away games, and you're going to need to beat some teams. It's going to be hard to win.
Oh, well, absolutely. So, but luckily, we jumped right out on Texas in this game. Gillespie,
yes.
Greenville kid had a killer game.
Oh yeah, he killed it. Next thing I was going to say, Tim, on the negative side of things.
Yeah. What is it about a man that you're going to say?
Okay, yeah, you're right about that. All right. At what point does he start getting some serious minutes took away from him?
Well, I think it was the other night. He was down to 22 minutes, which I think is probably by far his lowest output of the season.
I mean,
does it continue? I don't know.
I realize that, Kentucky made a living off of,
one and dones,
yeah, those type of guys, and they consistently got better throughout the year most time, and hopefully, will. But man, I tell you what, I would say he's lost us some games at this point.
He's had some rough outings. There's no doubt. I mean, I will, if I'm a glass half full kind of guy, I will tell you that he's rebounded well for the most part of the year. He's one of our top scorers, obviously second best guy, but it's also he shoots a lot.
Yeah.
Although he has to kind of quit shooting threes because he's lost his confidence in his touch. There's no doubt he's got to improve, and I believe he will. The question is how much and how quick.
The turnovers is killing him, and I mean that makes him almost unplayable.
Yeah. When I
think like the first play of the game, he was like a turnover, and then he almost had a turnover on the second. Should have had a turnover on the second play of the game. So I mean, like crazy.
And a lot of people talked about how he's underweight, going to have to get stronger. Right. I think at this point, the strength he needs to increase is his mental toughness, his mental strength.
I agree. Matt said Gillespie was incredible last night, and absolute truth there. He absolutely was incredible. Tim Dewberry need to win the home games and at least split on the road. I agree there. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to steal some away games that you're supposed to lose. I mean, it's just tough to anybody that's watching basketball or even football. It's hard to win on the road. I mean, even against
well, particularly in basketball, because I'll be honest about it, the referees can be pretty atrocious for the home team quite often.
Bo Burrell, I'll probably screw that name up. 5-star cornerback and another BA hit the portal out of Ohio State University. Please to God, get these guys. I'd say I hear you, man. I feel like you do, buddy. If I thought praying would help on this, I'd probably be doing it right now.
Well, I will say this: they are still going to be more players entering the portal daily,
absolutely,
including from the teams that are in the playoffs right now.
And only problem with that though, Tim, I'll say, is once a lot of these guys get gone, and it seemed like it happened last year when these late portal entries ended up going out there.
And everybody that still had a hold,
you need
was willing to pay and pay heavy.
That's where they seemed like that was a lot of overpaying was at that point, because there's like one really good defensive tackle left on the board, and everybody, like 10 teams, needed a defensive tackle. So they was like, we've got to get this guy.
Supply and demand.
Yeah.
I mean, simple. And but like I said, we've still got some more coming in, so there's still going to be some that we're not aware of yet.
Yeah, there's going to be,
but for the most part, I mean, the bulk of it is probably already in the portal.
Right, I agree. There's going to be a few. We need a lot of these guys that we mentioned tonight. We need to close on. We need to get like Levitt, for instance, Brewu, Campbell. We need to get a Russell, a Smith, DeJuan Lane. I mean, most of these guys feel like
they feel like, yeah,
you know what I mean? Xavier Gillum, these feel like needs.
Well, I mean, look what our needs are right now. We still need 2 to 3 defensive tackles, probably 1 to 2 defensive ends, Leos, whatever you want to call them, in this new system. I don't know that we needed a linebacker, but we're going to take a linebacker, it looks like. So you still got that out there. You probably need another corner. You probably need another 2 safeties, probably. And that's just on defense. And, go over. I'm probably even, I may be even missing something there.
Well, Chris Lowe, I think, come out, which is pretty accurate. This guy's pretty accurate. He said we needed like 9 to 10 guys on defense. To me, that seemed low. We counted them up. To me, that's at least 10, I think. And probably closer to 12.
Well, you hope to get a few guys who are in the rotation that probably aren't starting for you also. So, yeah, obviously we don't need 10 starters, but you do have to have some starters. You got to have some dudes.
Right.
And now we'll find some gems later on in the portal, but you got to have some dudes.
Tim Dewberry, he said we need to get Campbell. I absolutely agree there. Gillum and Mack from Penn State. It appears, Tim, from what I've seen, that we mentioned it, and I can't remember if it was this video or another one, that it appears that Knowles is not as high on King Mack at safety as the DeJuan Lane. So it looks like maybe or it could be a money issue as well. I mean, you never know.
You don't know.
I mean, a lot of these guys, they outprice themselves a lot of times.
Yeah, they sometimes will make outrageous demands that you just like, come on, get real.
All right.
But we'll see on that right there.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody, chiming in. Always great to hear from y'all. I enjoy the interaction. And hopefully we will come back with another video really, really soon that giving some good news. And this thing fluctuates from being, jumping off bridges to, throwing parties. It changes within a few hours of each other, a few minutes.
It does. We are both of us going on a family function, if you want to call it that, for the next few days.
Vacation thing.
So we won't have our regular setup, but we will try to take a smaller setup and probably, if there's any big news, put it out there.
Yeah, we'll try to do something one way or another. Well, guys, we appreciate your time. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that like button. We only see a few on there in this one. So go ahead and hit that like and comment on the video and let us know what your thoughts is. We'd love to hear your opinion on some of the stuff we mentioned tonight.
Yes, sir. Let's go Vols.
Yeah, go Vols.